Okay, so we know that the circulatory system is in charge of transporting oxygen, nutrients, and also other substances, and also to remove waste from our tissues. And removes waste. So blood is pumped through our body by the heart. Raise your hand if you need more time. Okay, Jonathan? Okay. All right, I'll wait till it's quiet. Make sure you guys are following along. Thank you. Okay. All right, so let's look here at our heart label diagram, all right? So the heart kind of works like if it has two pump system. One part pumps blood to the rest of the body, and the other part pumps blood to the lungs, all right? So let's start here with number 1. So up here, this is our superior vena cava. And then we have the inferior vena cava. All right, these bring oxygen, pour blood to our heart. So oxygen, pour blood to our heart. Oh, come on. All right, specifically, they first bring it into our right atrium. All right, so number 1 brings in oxygen, pour blood. So our superior and inferior vena cava bring oxygen, pour blood to our heart, specifically to our right atrium. So our right atrium receives oxygen, pour blood. So number 2, our right atrium receives oxygen, pour blood. Okay. All right. Then number 3. Our right ventricle pumps blood, pumps that oxygen, pour blood back to our lungs, right? So the right ventricle pumps oxygen, pour blood to our lungs. Okay. All right. All right, so now our lungs are going to receive that oxygen, pour blood, and they are going to, with diffusion, they are going to oxygenate our blood, okay? So now that our blood is oxygenated in our lungs, it's going to return to the heart. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Number 4, I'm going to label number 4, which is our pulmonary. Okay. All right, so our left ventricle pumps blood through our pulmonary artery, which carries it to our lungs. Now it's oxygenated, so now I'm going to have oxygen-rich blood return to the heart through our pulmonary veins, okay? So number 5 here. Five is going to be our pulmonary. This one on the right is our right pulmonary vein. So over here on the left, this is our left pulmonary vein. I'll zoom in here. Number 5 is our right pulmonary vein. Right, so at this point, our right pulmonary vein, it's returning from our lungs. So this is oxygen-rich blood that it's returning from our lungs back to our heart. All right. All right, so our pulmonary veins bring in oxygenated blood to our heart into our left atrium. So here, number 6. Where did I mess up here? Pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein. So our left atrium receives oxygen-rich blood. Okay. Oh, come on. Oh. Demas? All right, number 7 is going to be our left ventricle, and that one is going to pump blood to the rest of the body. So number 7. This is the worst. 7, left ventricle. Pumps blood to the rest of the body. And this is going to be oxygen-rich blood, okay? Raise your hand if you need more time. Okay. All right. So our left ventricle is going to pump our blood to the rest of the body. So that blood is going to get transported through our aorta. So number 8. All right. So our aorta carries that blood from the ventricle to the rest of the body. Raise your hand if you need time to write that number 8, that the aorta carries. Okay. Aorta carries oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. Raise your hand if you need more time for this part. Okay. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Right. Right there. Yeah, where the blue is. Uh-huh. So if you guys notice here, pretty much the right side of her heart receives oxygen, poor blood, pumps it to her lungs. And then our left side of the heart receives oxygen-rich blood as it returns from her lungs, and then it goes to the rest of her body. Oh. Oops. Oh, come on. Oh, 6, right here. Got it. Hold on. Right here. It's gonna be above 7, our left atrium. Hold on. I'll zoom in. Yes. Number 8. Oh, give me 1 second. Hold on, guys. My screen froze. All right. All right. Number 8, right? Okay. Oh, no. Aorta carries oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. Number 8. Raise your hand if you need more time. Okay. All right, so let's look at this web of capillaries, arteries, veins, and our heart, okay? This is kind of gives you an overview, gives you an idea on how blood as a whole is circulated through our body. And before I get to this one, let's look here at the bottom. I'll start here. So we have 3 types of vessels. We have arteries, capillaries, and veins, okay? Arteries are large vessels that carry blood away from the heart to tissues of our body. Okay, so here's my artery because it's away from our heart towards tissues of our body. Okay. So you guys can go make sure you guys do the coloring later at home. All right, so let's go here. So our arteries are bringing oxygen-rich blood to our body tissues. And then here in the middle, we have our capillaries. These are the smallest vessels. They have super, super thin walls, so they allow blood to be exchanged. So oxygen and nutrients can pass through these small capillaries. And then they allow carbon dioxide and other products to be carried back to the heart. So let's do purple here. Purple or blue. So after our cells, through diffusion, they're going to return blood back to our heart. Now, this blood is going to be oxygen poor because our tissues already sucked all of the oxygen out of it. Okay, so our veins bring blood back to the heart. Oh, yes, thank you. Yep. Tari said thank you so much. Oh, right there. I'll get it later. Yeah. So our veins bring deoxygenated blood back to our heart. Okay. All right. So capillaries are the smallest. All right. Raise your hand if you need more time. All right, so guys, in the middle, tissue, like cells of our body, cells of our different tissues, they're going to absorb the oxygen, nutrients, whatever they need, right? And once that is soaked up, then we have oxygen, poor blood that returns back to our heart. All right, so let's look at all of this here as the whole big picture. So at the very top, I have my capillaries from my arms and head. And here I have my capillaries of my right lung, because this is the right side of our body and this is the left, even for the heart, okay? So here are the right side is the capillaries of the right lung. And at the very bottom, we have, think of our lower body, so our capillaries of abdominal organs and legs. So capillaries of abdominal organs and legs. And at the very top, I have my capillaries of what, guys? What would this one be? What do you think? What do you guys think? Very good. Capillaries of my left lung. All right. Raise your hand if you need more time. All right. So if you guys remember first, I'm going to start with my superior and inferior vena cava, okay? So my superior and inferior vena cava, they're going to bring oxygen, poor blood to our heart. And if you guys recall, our pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood away from our heart. And this one right here is going to be our right pulmonary artery. Ooh. Oh, come on. And then you guys can do the rest. All right. Okay. Oh, excuse my screen. Raise your hand if you need more time on this one. But you got it? Okay. All right. Very good. All right, guys. On a lined sheet of paper, I want you guys, we're going to do blood types here really quick. All right. Jonathan. Go ahead and give it back. All right, here we go. Blood cells. All right, so we have 3 different types of blood cells. First, let's look at our main ones are our red blood cells. These are the most numerous. The main function of these is to transport oxygen. These type of red blood cells, they are produced in the bone marrow. So in the plasma membrane is the part that carries our hemoglobin. And hemoglobin pretty much is a protein that helps us carry oxygen, okay? All right. Then we have our white blood cells or our leukocytes. These pretty much guard against infection, fight parasites, and attack bacteria. So, for example, macrophages. These pretty much engulf pathogens. And then we also, another example of our white blood cells are B lymphocytes. These pretty much produce antibodies to fight infection. Our T lymphocytes fight tumors and viruses. Raise your hand if you need more time. Okay. All right. If you need more time, raise your hand. Okay. All right. Last one are platelets, which their function is in blood clotting. Blood clotting. Okay. All right, so whenever you get a cut, scrape, or wound, usually our platelets are involved in the process of forming blood clots, so prevent bleeding out. Raise your hand if you need more time. Okay. All right. Very good. Let's move on to the lymphatic system. All right, so when blood circulates, we have some blood cells and plasma that leak out through the capillaries. So most of the fluid that leaks out is known as lymph. Okay, so lymph is reabsorbed back into the capillaries, but the rest goes through the lymphatic system. Okay, so the lymphatic system is made up of a network of lymph vessels. So let's write lymph vessels, nodes, spleen is part of it. Here I have my heart, but the part that is involved with the lymphatic system is the thymus, which sits on top of our heart. Okay. So pretty much through the lymphatic system, organs connect the lymph. So like the spleen, the thymus, and the nodes pretty much collect the lymph, and they pretty much screen for microorganisms, and then they return that back to the circulatory system. Raise your hand if you need more time on these labels. Okay. So let's write here function. It collects lymph and screens for microorganisms, and then it returns it to the circulatory system. So there are three main important roles. Number one is the role in circulation. So they pretty much they collect the lymph through the capillaries and then return the lymph into our circulatory system through our veins. Okay. So return lymph to the blood. Number two, role in immunity. So we have just like capillaries, we have hundreds of small lymph nodes. They are scattered along lymph vessels throughout the body. So the lymph nodes, pretty much they act as a filter. So they trap lymph nodes, trap microorganisms, cancer cells sometimes. they try, and debris. And then the white blood cells inside the lymph nodes are what destroy the cellular trash, okay? So white blood cells inside the lymph nodes destroy, let's call it cellular trash. So all the microorganisms, all the leftover debris, it's all destroyed pretty much in our lymph nodes, okay, by our white blood cells. All right, the third function of the lymphatic system is its role in nutrient absorption. If you recall my lining of the intestine, we have our villus, right? And then we had like the lymph vessel. So our lymph vessels pretty much absorb our fat cell, let me see. Role in nutrient absorption. We absorb fats and some vitamins. And some other nutrients. From the lining of the intestine, so intestinal lining. All right, very good. That is all I have for you guys today. The two body systems, the circulatory and the lymphatic system. Make sure you guys review your notes for about 20 minutes or so today. Thank you very much.